Okay, welcome to the 2022 CAC Leadership Program. Hello, my name is Anne-Marie Queenie, and I am the outgoing Community Affairs Chair. And on behalf of the CAC team, welcome to our annual virtual leadership program today. Next slide, please. Thank you to the STC community leaders, volunteers, and members for joining us today. We're glad that you're here. The CAC also welcomes Liz Poland, STC's Chief Executive Officer, and STC board members. Now, you may be wondering why today's program is called the STC Deep Sea Adventure. Well, it's the theme for the 2021-22 CAC season and our incentive program. In July of 2021, we asked STC community leaders and volunteers what issues were important to them, and then we took a deep dive into those issues. Now, the chat is open, and we encourage you to share throughout the program. The CAC wants to hear from you, and the CAC team members will be monitoring the chat. So if you have technical issues or questions, we'll respond. We will also save the chat discussion and share it with attendees if it's helpful. And as a reminder, any direct messages are also saved. So just a few housekeeping details. Erin Galilee, who's STC Director of Membership and Community Relations, is our technical manager today. If you have technical problems, please post to all in the chat and she will assist you. Erin has placed everyone on mute. When joining, please remain on mute. And we're going to ask you now to please turn off your video for the main program. We have a large attendance, and so we'll just have the presenters on at that time. The main program is being recorded, and a link will be sent to attendees and made available on the CAC website. We will have a 10-minute break halfway through the program. And at the end of the award segments, we will invite the award winners to turn on their video so we can congratulate them. And we will also invite the award committee members to turn on their video at this time so we can thank them for all their work. Please know that turning on your video is optional. And before we begin, it's my pleasure to introduce the STC outgoing President, Kirsty Taylor, and incoming STC President, Isa Moina, to say a few words. So Kirsty, over to you.
Thank you, Anne-Marie, and good morning, good evening, everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Clearly, it's a cold day here in Brisbane where I am, and hopefully it's a lot warmer for all of you where you are and not too stinking hot. It's a great pleasure to be here joining the Community Affairs Committee and all of you to learn about initiatives for your communities, to celebrate the achievements of communities, and to come together and enjoy the camaraderie and spirit of STC. So thank you all for spending time together today, and thank you all for sharing the great things that you're doing and working with in your communities with your other volunteers. Anne-Marie, back to you.
Okay, thank you. And Isa, would you like to say a few words also?
Sure. Thank you, Anne-Marie. I'm excited to be part of today's deep sea adventure. And I just want to note that my first experience of STC was through a local chapter and then later through the special interest groups. I first got involved in STC as a volunteer in my local communities and then gradually worked my way into volunteerism and leadership at the society level. And I know that for many of our members today, and for some TechTom professionals, students, and educators who are not yet members, our communities are an important aspect of their experience of STC. And as a former community leader myself, I recognize the importance of forums like these. So I thank the CAC for putting on this program, and I thank all of you for joining today. I also want to specifically thank Anne-Marie for her leadership of the CAC over the past 2 years. I want to thank the entire CAC team for their support of our communities and especially our community leaders and volunteers. And I want to thank all of you on the line who are supporting our chapters and SIGs as elected officers and volunteers. Know that your efforts have been recognized and are deeply appreciated by the STC board. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Anne Marie.
Okay, thank you, Isa. And thank you to Kirsty and Isa for your contributions and leadership for STC. It's very much appreciated. And now, as Isa had mentioned, I finished my term as a board director this April and will be stepping down as the CAC chair at the end of June. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve the STC community's leaders and volunteers. Your dedication and commitment to your communities has always been inspiring to me. Thank you for 2 wonderful years. I have enjoyed getting to know you better, and I would also like to thank my hardworking CAC team members for their efforts and creativity. I am a passionate supporter of STC's communities and will be active at that level. So we'll definitely be keeping in touch. It is my pleasure to introduce the new CAC chair, Lori Meyer, a longtime STC and community leader. And Lori brings experience and passion to the role, and I know STC communities will continue to thrive under her leadership, expertise, and wisdom. So Lori, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, thank you, Anne Marie. First of all, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Well, it's great to be here, and it's an honor to have been appointed CAC chair. I greatly appreciate the trust that has been placed in me, although I realize I have some tremendously big boots to fill because Anne Marie has done a wonderful job in the last 2 years as our CAC chair. I only hope I can do half as well. I'm looking forward very much to serving in this new way. And it's just really delightful for me to see so many participants at this meeting today. Please know that I am thinking of all of you and that we will work together to build our communities, to strengthen them, and in turn to strengthen STC and add value to our profession. So you'll be hearing more from me as time, in the next few weeks, as we build our teams and structure our activities. I also just want you to know how special every single one of these communities is. Each one of you has unique gifts that you offer to your members, to STC, and to our profession. And I want to do everything I can to bring out the most of those special gifts that you all have to offer. So thank you once again. And thank you, Anne Marie. Thank you all for being here, and let's go after it.
Okay, thank you, Lori. And now I would like to introduce the CAC team members. And as you can see, we're all suited up for the STC Deep Sea Adventure. And like you, we are all volunteers who are passionate about STC and its communities. If you are new to the CAC, our mission is to support STC communities with a variety of services. We're here to help you and be your partner as you manage your communities. And now I'd like to introduce them from the top left. I want Erin Gowley, STC Director of Membership and Community Relations, and our staff liaison for our committee. Across the way is Todd DeLuca, and he is our CAC advisor. On the second row in the orange, we have Sharon Ford, CAC Social Media Director, and Kylie Jacobson, CAC Director. On the last row, we have Anita Matichuk, CAC Director, Jamie Sagan, CAC Director, Alex Garcia, CAC Vice Chair, and again, my name is Anne Marie Queenie, outgoing CAC Chair. And next to me is Lori Meyer, current CAC Ad Hoc Director and incoming CAC Chair. Danielle Villegas, CAC Communications Director and Incentive Program Manager, and John Clement, who's the CAC Student Outreach Director. Now, some of the CAC directors don't have additional titles by their name, but I also want you to know, though, that they have led and worked on several special projects, so they've been very busy. And I also would like to thank Erica Frensley for her work on the CAC. Erica needed to step down due to work commitments earlier this year, but we appreciated all that you've done while you were with us. And thank you, Danielle, for the fun slide. Next slide, please. Today, we'll recognize our STC award winners and provide community updates. Also on the agenda is we'll provide some highlights from our 2021-22 CAC year. And then at the end, lastly, you're invited to participate in one of our 5 breakout sessions. The sessions will begin at approximately 6:30 Eastern Time. And for attendees in different time zones, a half hour prior to the end of the program. And for Kirsty in Australia, I won't even begin to try to do the math and get the time zone for you. And the sessions will last approximately 25 minutes. And I will cover the breakout sessions in more detail at that time. So now I'd like to give you an update on the STC communities. First, to the chapters. There were 2 chapter mergers during the 21-22 year. Eastern Ontario chapter merged with the Toronto, Ontario chapter in 2021. The membership voted to change the merged chapter's name to the Ontario chapter, and so they're working on that. The STC board also approved Silicon Valley chapter's merger with the San Francisco Bay chapter, and the chapters are in the process of merging. I'd like to acknowledge and thank the chapter leaders and volunteers for their contributions over the years and wish the merged chapters all the best. And I should also mention at this time that there were no changes to the STC student chapters. And we'd like to thank the student chapter leaders and volunteers for all your contributions also. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the chapters, find out about volunteer opportunities and contact information, please go to communities, find communities on the STC website. And I believe Erin will be posting all our links today in the chat. Next is the STC SIGs Special Interest Group, and there are virtual groups focused on specific topics. Now, there were no changes to the SIG Communities of Practice or the SIG Communities of Interest. And I would like to mention that our newest community option, the SIG COIs or Communities of Interest, this is their second full year of as operating as a SIG CY. And again, thank you to the SIG leaders and volunteers for all your contributions. And if you'd like to learn more about the SIGs, volunteer opportunities, and contact information, please go to the same location, communities, find communities on the STC website. Now, I would like to turn over the program to Jamie Sagan, CAC Director, who's going to tell you about this year's Pacesetter Award winners. Over to you, Jamie.
All right, thank you so much, Anne-Marie. The Pacesetter Award recognizes the successful implementation of a single beneficial innovation that other STC communities can implement. And for this year, we have 8 Pacesetter Award winners. Many thanks to the Pacesetter Committee who reviewed all the entries and selected the winners. First, we want to recognize the Carolina chapter. Their citation reads, "In recognition for your efforts to reduce barriers, encourage, and help current or aspiring technical writers gain experience and practice through masterfully crafted workshops about structured authoring, providing a valuable service for the society and our profession." And so for each of the Pacesetter winners, we want to explain a little bit about their projects and whom you can contact for more information. So basically, the Carolina chapter's program was this. So for planning for spring of 2021, the Carolina Council wanted to streamline the efforts of the entire council to focus on programming around structured authoring. So what they did was the following. They devised the following plan. So their different teams did the following. Their business outreach team secured sponsorship from Oxygen XML, which is a leading structured authoring editing tool company, to provide trial licenses to Carolina members and program participants. The communications team promoted the events with social media and blogs. The mentorship team used events to recruit mentors and mentees and recorded materials as resources for the program. Mentees were able to continue their structured authoring projects or use the trial license to create new projects in Oxygen XML. And finally, the programs and leadership teams assembled 3-part workshop series that was formatted to address beginner to advanced audiences. So they had a roundtable, then an expert-led training workshop on Oxygen XML and DITA, and finally a working session so people can make progress on their projects. And so as a result, participants received trial licenses that they could use to produce portfolio pieces in DITA. And the council was able to streamline activities across functional areas, as well as raise funds because some of the events were considered premium and thus included a small fee. If you'd like to learn more about what Carolina chapter did, you may contact Art Berger or Michael Peter, and their email addresses are on the screen. Next, we'd like to recognize the Chicago chapter. Their citation reads, "For your strategic partnership with College of DuPage, leading to creative and meaningful initiatives in an effort to engage and mentor our future technical communication professionals." So what they did with their project was the student outreach manager, MK Grunberg, joined forces with the school, the program chair of writing studies and professional writing certificate at the local community college, College of DuPage, or COD, to submit and then work on a summer externship funded by the college. This externship allowed the college and its professional writing advisory board to partner with STC Chicago and the professional writing opportunities offered by the chapter more visible to their students. So here's what they did. Well, first of all, this is a page from the College of DuPage's website that describes the partnership with STC Chicago. So what they did was, first of all, the chapter and the college worked together on the externship proposal to the college, which they then approved. So once that was approved, they then met through Zoom to map out which chapter offerings would best serve the college students. And in those meetings, they created new opportunities that the chapter could offer to the college students to enhance their learning. They also collaborated with the creative services coordinator at the college on how best to present these opportunities to the students through the Writing Studies website, which we saw earlier. Finally, the website went live in September at the beginning of the fall 2021 semester, and they began implementing the plan. The outcome? At the end of the externship, they had a solid plan for integrating STC into student assignments, a plan for a special writing contest, and a design for a partnership page on the college website. The website partnership page was approved by the college and was implemented in time for fall. And basically the goal was to enhance learning and student success in the field of professional writing and build that close partnership with the STC chapter. If you'd like to learn more about this program from the Chicago chapter, please contact MK Grunberg at the email address provided on screen. Next, we'd like to recognize the India chapter. Their citation reads, "In recognition of your innovative promotional efforts and coordination between industry and the STC, having a learning manager can help the society better serve its communities and help members of those communities engage with the society." Here's what they did. The chapter established and appointed a learning manager to both capture the pulse of the community and to conduct training and sessions based on that feedback. And so doing so would help bridge the gap between the India's admin council and their chapter members. So what they did was they appointed a learning manager. This one was Dr. Anu Singh, who is a veteran technical writer from the industry. Dr. Singh obtained community feedback through various means, including calling members, getting feedback from them, collecting feedback from the different sessions that they conducted, and of course, surveys. And then each quarter, Dr. Singh, as the learning manager, would develop a session proposal based on community feedback and present it to the admin council, who then would review and approve the plan. So as a result, by establishing this learning manager as a liaison between the chapter and the admin council, the chapter was able to view its members through a new lens. Thus, they were able to better design and conduct less sessions on topics that best suited their community's needs. If you'd like to learn more about this program, please contact Raghuram Panduragan at this email address provided. Next, we'd like to recognize the Instructional Design and Learning SIG Community of Practice. They received 2 Pacesetter Awards this year. Their first one is for their First Fridays at 5 program. Their citation reads, "In recognition of your inclusive and proactive efforts, promoting and engaging with students to participate and volunteer in SIG activities with mentorship opportunities, learning, and social activities." So basically, the First Fridays at 5 FF at 5 program started as a virtual networking event to help students discover what STC offers. Then over time, it evolved into a portfolio building opportunity for any IDL SIG member who wants to develop their presentation skills. So basically, the First Fridays at 5, it's a consistently recurring free event, First Fridays at 5 Eastern time. They have at least 4 social networking events in the year. There's no defined topic. It's basically a free-for-all. And then they'll have up to 8 presentations by new voices to STC on a specific topic that the person prepares. So basically, as the outcome, the networking and portfolio building opportunities attract new members to the SIG while supporting current members. Everyone, students, new professionals, and established professionals appreciate that opportunity to share their knowledge by creating presentations and writing articles for the newsletter. And presenters become involved with the IDL leadership team as they create their presentations in a supportive environment. If you'd like to learn more about First Fridays at 5, contact Anita Matichuk at the email address provided on screen. The IDL SIG's second Pacesetter Award is for their social activities. Their citation reads, "In recognition of your efforts for finding ways to use free or inexpensive conferencing to enable fun events for an extended community." Last year, they had a scavenger hunt. The theme was, "We are each unique, but with commonalities that unite everyone as members of STC, the SIG, being technical communicators, and being human." And since it had been a tough couple of years due to the pandemic, the SIG wanted to bring people together, build on their sense of community, and celebrate each other while doing something fun. So what they did was they conducted a themed scavenger hunt at the virtual Summit Social. So first they randomly selected teams based on the RSVPs for the meeting for a scavenger hunt and then explain the rules and procedures. The MC would announce the scavenger hunt items one at a time. So the participants would bring back their found items and talk about them on camera. The SIG then selected winners and then later held a grand prize drawing. And after the event, select SIG members created custom scrapbook pages for each attendee. It was basically a PowerPoint slide encapsulating important events, association, education, pets, etc., and emailed each attendee their own scrapbook page as a memento. And this slide, the next slide, shows some sample scrapbook pages. So as you can see, the different members like a lot of different things. So as a result, Attendees had fun interacting with one another, and they got to share stories behind their found objects. And attendees also loved and appreciated their personalized scrapbook pages. If you'd like to learn more about this pace setting program, please contact Melissa Rourke at the either email address provided on screen. Next, we'd like to recognize the North Texas Lone Star chapter. Their citation reads, "For your forward-thinking efforts drawing in new professionals critical to the future of the society and the profession, your valuable recruitment appeals encourages students to consider mentorship opportunities and careers in technical communication." So what they did was, because students are the future and lifeblood of STC membership, the chapter decided to create a mentorship testimonial video that would appeal to potential students. And since video and visual media appeal more to younger potential members, particularly a quick and short video that gets to the point. So what the chapter did was they developed a script that included the following information: introduction about the student, who referred the student, benefits of the relationship with the STC chapter, and the student's professional goals. So basically, after having these videos, they highlight both the profession and the availability of mentorship, thus reducing the fear factor for new writers. If you'd like to learn more about implementing mentorship videos, please contact Jennifer Pryor Schledorn at the email address provided on screen. Next, we'd like to recognize the South Central Texas chapter. Their citation reads, "For your effort to reach new chapter members where they are, using a new chat system to facilitate instant access to chapter activities and bring together conversations with the community." So what they did was they created the TechCom Office Hours Discord server in 2021 as a student outreach tool. And within this tool, TechCom professionals in the chapter and invited guests can chat and ask questions about anything TechCom related. So in setting up the Discord server, they first plot out the different channels, like what they would have, because Discord supports both text and voice. They then created the community Discord account and followed the prompts to set up the server. They also set up moderation roles in the settings to ensure proper access levels to make sure only the proper people can access whatevers. They also populated the server with topical categories and channels to find earlier. And they finally spread the word about the server using social media and their blog. So as a result, right now the chapter has about 35 members on their Discord server. Their most active channels include channels for specific events, such as when the chapter had its mini conference, and also for Summit, and also for the job postings. And the members who use this server love its flexibility and availability, since Discord is most frequently used within the gaming community. If you'd like to learn more, you may contact Jamie Sagan at the address provided on screen. We'd also like to recognize the Washington, D.C. Baltimore chapter. Their citation reads, "In recognition of your effort to encourage informal mentoring to help community members have a trusted mentoring resource throughout the stages of their career." So basically what the chapter did was they established tailored mentoring to help TechCom pros and career changers to get hired. So what they did was they had screening for job opportunities, and they also gave step-by-step guidance to either begin or switch to a career in TechCom. So this collage that you see on screen shows the snapshots of various mentoring engagement efforts with both members and non-members in the global TechCom community. Can't read it, but you can see there's a lot of activity that took place. So as a result, the chapter was able to nurture their connections with both members and non-members in the global TechCom community by serving as a trusted space for continuous personalized guidance. And if you'd like to learn more about this program, please contact Tavia Record or Adam Bradley at the email addresses on screen. So congratulations to the 2022 STC Pacesetter Award winners: Carolina Chapter, Chicago Chapter, India Chapter, Instructional Design and Learning SIG Community of Practice, North Texas Lone Star Chapter, South Central Texas Chapter, and the Washington, D.C. Baltimore Chapter. We'd also like to thank the Community Achievement and Pacesetter Awards Committee, chaired by Roger Renteria, with members Vicky Dill, Rachel Houghton, Jay Macklin, Krista Mohammed, Stephanie Saylor, and Lloyd Thompson Taylor, with board liaison Anne Marie Queenie and staff liaison Aaron Galilee. So at this time, for all STC Pacesetter Award winners and Pacesetter Award Committee, we invite you at this time to please turn on your video so we may recognize you.
Thank you, everybody. And we appreciate all your efforts with your Pacesetter Awards. You may now turn back off your cameras. We'll continue with the program. Back to you, Anne Marie.
And I was on mute. I'm sorry. I had put myself, I was just saying thank you to the Pacesetter communities for your innovative approach to technology and just different approaches. It's inspiring, innovative, and I think this is something that we can all take away from and hopefully also adapt for our own uses. So, and thank you to the committee for identifying and bringing these communities to our attention. So before we go to our break, I just wanted to know and to give you the information that we do have a leadership program survey. It's just to help us improve the program. And it's a quick, brief 3-question program survey. And we would appreciate hearing from you because your feedback and suggestions can help us improve future virtual leadership programs. And we'll also include the link in the chat and when we send you the recorded program. And thank you to Sharon Ford, CAC Director, for creating the survey for us. And so right now, Aaron or CAC team, are there any chat comments or questions we should answer at this time?
Oh, I just had a quick question that if the program was going to be made available post-program, and the answer is yes. All the participants will be emailed the slides of the program, the recording, and it'll also be posted on the websites for anyone to view.
Okay.
And then also the link to the survey is in the chat. Aaron just put that in there a couple minutes ago.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so we'll go to our next slide then if there aren't any more questions. And, you know, I think it's appropriate and it's great. We are a few minutes ahead of schedule, so that's good. So it's appropriate that our committee mascot, some of you know her, Lucy the CAC cat, will lead us in our 10-minute program break. So it's now, I have 5:37 Eastern time. So just adjust and it'll be 10 minutes and we'll come back for the second part of our program. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to be transitioning back to the second part of the program. The 10 minutes went quickly, and especially when we have such a wonderful video to relax during the break. I'd like to thank Jamie. Excuse me, Jamie. I'm looking at her cat comment, Erin Galilee, for finding that wonderful video. It was really relaxing and very soothing, and it almost makes you want to go scuba diving and exploring. But I don't know how I would work with that, but it makes you want to explore. Thank you very much. And Erin has provided the link. Thank you. So now, like all adventures, we said this was going to be the deep sea adventure, and we are a few minutes ahead of schedule on our adventure, so that's very nice. And so, like all adventures, you know, there's always a few surprises, isn't there? And we have a surprise. The CAC has our first surprise, and it's to help us gear us up for the second half of our journey. Here we go. Okay, thank you. Do we have our second surprise, or we're going to save that perhaps for later? Okay, I think we'll be saving our other surprises for later. That was, I think some people said in the chat, yes, that was a sea shanty, and that's like a music that the sailors used to play as they did their work on the sailing the seas way back in the day. So that was our send off for the second part of our deep sea adventure. And I wanted to welcome you back to the second half of our program. And I have a corny pirate joke for you as we wait for the others to join us. And this joke came up as part of our planning, one of our planning meetings with the CAC. I don't remember who said it. Maybe they won't take credit for it. What is a pirate's favorite letter? Okay, it's not R. They are in love with the sea. And that is my my only attempt at stand-up comedy. And there you have it, the corny pirate joke. So I'd like us to just a reminder, if you are just joining us, we are recording the program. And I'll just briefly go over the CAC and STC events calendar for the next month or two. Later this month on June 24th, we'll be closing the STC Deep Sea Adventure Incentive Program with a social informal meetup. And we'll be talking more about the incentive program later. And there is a link. Everyone is welcome. You don't have to just be a member of the incentive program. We welcome everyone. And this summer, there's going to be a special STC webinar. And this is going to cover the STC Associate Fellow, the Fellow, and the Lifetime Achievement Award for Excellence in Service. So that'll be an important webinar. And I would like to pass on a suggestion that Art Berger had. I was talking to Art during the summit in May, and I was mentioning that STC was going to be sponsoring or describing these awards. And Art had a great idea that I'd like to pass on to everyone. He said he's going to look at his community roster to see what members might be eligible for these awards and personally invite them to the webinar so they can hear firsthand all about the awards and perhaps ask questions or get clarifications. So I thought that was an excellent idea. And also in the July-August timeframe, STC will be asking the SIG communities of practice and the COIs for the COPs to recharter. They must recharter every 2 years, and they are due this year. And the COIs do reapply every year. And the time frame is in July and August because as we know, the membership season starts on September 1st. So you would have to have everything ready for that. And Lori Meyer and I will be available to help you with the reapplication or the recharter process. And then finally, as I mentioned, September 1st, we're already into September. The STC 2023 membership renewal season begins. So now I would like to just briefly talk about some of the highlights from the 2021-2022 CAC year. You know, it's been a busy year for the CAC, as it's been for many STC communities, as we can see from the Pacesetter Awards. We would just like to share our goals, activities, and projects for the year with you. We began the CAC year by inviting leaders and volunteers of SIGs, communities of interest and communities of practice, chapters, professional and student, to meetups to help us plan and identify our goals. Now, these were listening sessions. So we began with some polls and then invited attendees to an open discussion. Thank you to those who attended. It was very helpful in helping us to shape our year. So then based on these sessions and what you told us, we have our first major goal, and that was to focus on the leaders' major areas of interest and challenges. And they were to grow the membership, to increase the participation of the members that they do have, and to recruit officers and volunteers, and to strengthen succession planning. And I would like to mention, interestingly, that the all topics were consistent across all 4 of our communities: SIGs and chapters, professional, student, and COPs and COIs. So here are some of the CAC activities and services we provided. First of all, many of you receive our CAC monthly newsletter. This provides an up-to-date information to help you manage your community. In addition to publishing articles on CAC programs and activities, we also cover STC news and deadlines that affect communities, such as the community award programs we are celebrating today, and of course, the budget season. But also, community leaders are invited to send us articles with a broad audience, such as the Alliance competition, or if you're hosting a regional conference where you're inviting everyone. We would be happy to spread the word. If you're not receiving the newsletter, contact us and we will add you to our distribution. The contact information is on the last slide. In addition to the CAC posting news in our newsletter, we invite STC leaders, volunteers, and members interested in communities to post on our leadership channel. and that's located on the free STC Slack workspace. And we're hoping, the CAC is hoping that this channel becomes a forum for leaders and volunteers to share information and to help each other. Also, of course, we know we've had our in-person summit and the CAC had several events. And of course, we have our virtual leadership program today. And we continue our popular educational webinars. So we host webinars on a variety of topics. Our webinars are recorded and are available on our website. They are a valuable resource for new leaders, but as well as experienced leaders, perhaps who want a refresher or some new ideas. Thank you to the community leaders and volunteers who take time to attend and participate in our webinars. The CAC appreciates your interest. And by the way, if you have an idea for a topic or you would like to present, please contact the CAC. At this time, I would like to recognize Erin Galilee, our STC liaison and STC Director of Membership and Community Relations, for all the work she does to make our webinars possible. Erin takes care of registration, rehearsals, operating the webinar software for us, and much more. And I would also like to thank and recognize our generous webinar presenters. They volunteer their time to create and present these webinars. And here are this CAC season's presenters and topics. A Community Achievement Award and a Treasurer Meetup for budget season. Getting to know the STC Slack and growing your volunteer capital. And then we followed growing your volunteer capital with recognizing your volunteer leaders. And we had a Q1 check-in where we just touched on a variety of topics that were relevant to communities. And I also wanted to give you an update on a major project we did last year and part of this year. And this is the STC Community Preferred Tools Survey. In fact, it was last year at this at our last virtual program that we launched the survey. And the purpose was to give leaders an opportunity to share which tools they use to manage their communities. So it was information sharing and also to assess leaders with managing technology. This idea or topic was suggested by Art Berger, and the project was managed by Jamie Sagan, who did a great job of herding all this information. And on the next slide, I'd like to show you some of the updates. So we took all this information you gave us, and by the way, we had a great response, over 70 participants, and we took this information and made it available to the communities in two ways, really three ways. One was a webinar, which was recorded, and it was hosted by Jamie, and she gave an overview of all the results. And then we followed that up with an educational meetup where we just had a discussion, informal discussion on the tools. This was not recorded because it was more conversational. But we do have the survey results, and everyone is welcome to them, and that is the link. Again, another great resource for new leaders or experienced leaders if you're looking for some new technology. And of course, it was great to be back at the summit, wasn't it, this May? And here is the CAC hosted several events at this year's in-person summit. And there is our team who was able to make it this year. But I want to thank the entire CAC team because everyone helped out with the planning. The events were open to all. So not just leaders and volunteers, but anyone who might think that they'd want to be involved with the communities. We wanted to make our first in-person conference in 3 years a special occasion for attendees. And here are some of the highlights. On Sunday, we had we participated in the welcome reception, and where we had a table where we informed attendees about the CAC and STC communities, and that includes chapters and SIGs. On Monday, we hosted an educational session on topics that you told us were important to you as leaders and volunteers. The small group discussions were led by CAC team members. And then we also had time for some independent networking and some fun, some socializing. We had the Deep Sea Treasure Hunt, which was independent networking, and that was managed by Jamie Sagan. And then on Tuesday, we also had a social where we had some friendly team competition activities and, of course, some prizes. And here were some of the treasure hunt prizes that we gave away. And thank you to our generous and creative STC members who donated. As you can see, some really wonderful prizes. And we had some additional donations. And we thank you all for helping out and making our first summit in 3 years extra special. And now the CAC has a second surprise. We will, Anita Matichuk has created a brief, fun slideshow of the CAC's summit events, the events that I've just described. And so you'll see some familiar faces. And hopefully, if you did attend, it'll bring back some pleasant memories. And if you didn't attend, you'll get to see your colleagues and friends. And so here is the slideshow. Enjoy. Okay, thank you, Anita, for that creative and really fun slideshow. And I hope that, like I said, for those of you who did attend, I hope it brought back some pleasant memories, and because we did have some fun networking and socializing. And for those of you who weren't able to attend this year, I hope you got a taste of what we were doing, and I hope you feel part of it. We missed you. We missed you there, and we hope that we'll see you next year. Now, you can see many of the photos that you just saw in that slideshow on STC's Facebook account. And the official photographs have been uploaded, and Erin will provide the link sometime during our program. And Rachel Houghton was the conference's official photographer. And I think you can all agree she did a wonderful job. I love some of those candid photographs. And she also donated a wonderful photograph as one of our door prizes. So we thank you for that. And right now we'll be going back to our program in a moment. And here we are, back to our deep sea adventure. And now I would like to turn the program over to John Clement, who will discuss STC student outreach. And I do want to mention that John graduated in May of this year with a bachelor's degree in English, technical communication, and he graduated with honors from the University of Central Florida. So congratulations, and over to you, John.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, hi everybody, and I'd like to just talk about the student outreach initiatives that I've been able to put on through the CAC this school year and program year. So over the year, as part of my work with the CAC, I have been reaching out to different student chapters throughout the society and just offering my help in any way that I can on an individual level and just to the groups, leaders, advisors, any way that I can. And so as part of those initiatives, I've been hosting monthly virtual meetups. And those are mainly discussion meetups and also some networking time, just with the goal of bringing students together from across STC into a place where we can discuss their leadership initiatives, just how they can get more involved in STC and how they can bring back the resources from STC to each of their student chapters and their respective communities. And so those monthly meetups have been going well, and I've been able to just meet up with different student leaders that way. And on top of that, I send out emails and I manage the STC student chapter Slack channel, where I post updates there for any student leaders and advisors who are interested in just receiving resources and hearing about those monthly meetups. And as I mentioned, I meet one-on-one, and I'm always open to meet one-on-one with anyone who wants to learn more about how to get involved in student chapters or how to develop their leadership and their membership base of their student chapters. And while at the summit, I didn't host an online meetup that time because, well, we were all in person, and I loved the opportunity to just meet up with the students who were there, between the student volunteers and anyone just attending. And we met up at different events. Just as volunteers, we saw each other at the sessions, and also I organized a brief dinner during one of the days where we could just network as groups of students and as student leaders. And so all that being said, student outreach has been a thing that has been going well. And even though I'm the one who is, I just lend an ear and offer advice, but I really love to see just all the great work that our student chapter leaders and our student chapters as a whole have been doing. And any way that I can assist them, I try to, but really the student chapters and their leaders and their advisors are really something that have shown throughout this year, and some have won awards too, and in no small part due to their own effort and initiative. So I hope to continue in these efforts, and overall student outreach has been going well, and the monthly meetups are something that I hope to continue.
Okay, thank you, John. And I think, you know, from the chat, I concur. I think John's done a great job these past 2 years. He's been on the CAC, just invigorating and the STC student chapters, and just really sharing his wisdom because he is a leader at the university level with with student organizations and of course with the Florida chapter. So thank you, John, for that. And now our second goal is we wanted to, like last year, our second major goal was to facilitate a sense of community. And we did that in a variety of ways with virtual socials and meetups. We have our leadership channel, like I mentioned. And I would like to thank all our volunteer hosts because, again, they did that purely volunteering and gave their time and effort for that. And we do appreciate it. So now I would like you to meet some of the volunteer social hosts that we had over the year. Our SIG-COI facilitators had an open house, as did the CAC. And the CAC got together with our incentive theme. The CAC dives into the new year, so we were doing a virtual dive. And then we had the real thing, the real deep sea adventure with David Bowen, who's a master scuba diver trainer and happens to be the husband of Marianne Bowen, STC Associate Fellow. So that was exciting also to see. And speaking of the incentive program and the deep sea adventure, I now would like to turn over the program to Danielle Villegas, who was the incentive program manager, and she's going to tell you a bit about the program. Over to you, Danielle.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. Some attendees may remember last year's incentive program, the STC Superheroes Journey. This year, we invited members to join us on the STC Deep Sea Adventure as the CAC took a deep dive into the tools and strategies to strengthen our STC communities. Our mission is to recognize and reward STC's chapters and SIG leaders and volunteers for their contributions to their communities and the STC. We know how hard our volunteers work to keep the STC going on all levels, so we wanted to thank them for participating in CAC events. During the past program year, I have tracked all of those who signed up or contributed to CAC programming as either attendees, presenters, moderators, panelists, and the STC Master Diver and I assigned points for participation. Just as divers must master skills before they can advance to the next level, our intrepid enrollees have been progressing through the various diving levels. And this is just a snapshot of the journey they've had so far. There's at least 2 other badges that you can earn beyond these, but these are the ones that have been definitely completed by a lot of people right here. The adventure and the badges will be continuing. The CAC will be closing the STC Deep Sea Adventure Program with the social meetup that was mentioned earlier on June 24th. That's from 2 to 3 Eastern time. Everyone's invited. And we would like to congratulate our STC adventurers on a job well done. There will be an encore of our favorite activity, and we will unlock the adventure's ultimate goal, which is the secret treasure. So with that, congratulations to those who've gotten there so far. If you're still interested, we do work this retroactively, so you can earn some badges. So if you are interested, go to the STC CAC site and look up the incentive program, and there's details in there, so it's not too late to sign up. Back to you, Anne-Marie.
Okay, thank you, Danielle, and thank you for all your work that you've done with the incentive program. And now I'd like to turn over the program to Jamie, who's going to talk about our Community Achievement Awards. Over to you, Jamie.
Great, thank you, Anne-Marie. The Community Achievement Award, or CAA, recognizes an STC community's outstanding accomplishments in achieving the Society's goals through a wide range of programs and activities. Communities submit a detailed application, and the CAA committee grades their accomplishments according to their rubric. There are 4 CAA award levels: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Each year, the CAA committee also selects the most improved community and Community of the Year. Right now, I'd like to thank the CAA committee for their hard work. And so now, here are the 2022 Bronze CAA winners and their citations. Congratulations to the Texas Tech University Student Chapter. Their citation reads, "For motivating the next generation of technical communicators while engaging with the current community by providing educational opportunities, representing your chapter at technical conferences, and finding innovative ways to adapt and evolve." Here are the 2022 Silver CAA winners and their citations. First, Ohio Chapter. For finding creative ways to engage with members virtually, expanding your members' understanding of inclusive terminology, and clearly explaining volunteer opportunities within the chapter. The Technical Editing SIG Community of Practice. Their citation reads, "For your educational programs, your outreach to the profession, and collaboration with other STC communities." Here are the Gold CAA winners and their citations. Michigan Great Lakes Chapter. Their citation reads, "For nurturing the future of technical communication by your strong support for leadership, collaboration within your community, mentoring opportunities, and member recognition." North Texas Lone Star Chapter. Their citation reads, "In recognition of your extensive outreach initiatives over the past year, including student mentorship, encouragement and support of volunteerism, and educational opportunities." And here are the 2022 Platinum Community Achievement Award winners. STC Carolina Chapter. Their citation reads, "In recognition of the robust gathering of value you bring to members, the society, your community, academia, and the profession as a whole, ensuring that the future of technical communication is bright." Chicago Chapter. Their citation reads, "For the chapter's concerted and varied efforts to connect with members and to draw others into the community and the field of technical communication." Instructional Design and Learning SIG Community of Practice. Their citation reads, "In recognition of your robust programs and strong outreach, with an extensive social media presence that connects the society and its members." The Rochester Chapter. Their citation reads, "In recognition of Rochester's broad offerings for the community, including educational programs and social gatherings." South Central Texas Chapter. Their citation reads, "For your outstanding support of chapter members with valuable programming, collaboration, and education incentives to continue with the mission of the society." And the Washington, D.C. Baltimore Chapter. Their citation reads, "In recognition of your efforts to promote STC membership, encourage current and future volunteer opportunities for leadership, and your collaboration with other communities." We'd also like to recognize the 2022 Most Improved Community. Drum roll. The Instructional Design and Learning SIG. Their citation reads, "For your improved efforts over the past year, providing strong value for members through various opportunities to advance their careers in technical communication." And the 2022 Community of the Year is, drumroll, Carolina chapter. Their citation reads, in recognition of the high level of value provided for members, exemplified in dedication, profession, and support, a shining beacon of light for future technical communicators. Congratulations to all of the 2022 STC Community Achievement Award winners. From the Community of the Year Carolina chapter, Most Improved Community, Instructional Design and Learning SIG, Platinum Communities, Carolina chapter, Chicago chapter, Instructional Design and Learning SIG, Rochester chapter, South Central Texas chapter, and Washington, D.C. Baltimore chapter. Our gold communities, Michigan Great Lakes chapter and North Texas Lone Star chapter. Our silver communities, Ohio chapter and Technical Editing SIG, and our bronze winning community, Texas Tech University Student chapter. Congratulations, everyone. So STC CAA winners, we invite you at this time to please turn on your video so we may congratulate this year's winners. Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations, everyone. You can take your virtual bows. When you're able, just go ahead and turn back off your cameras and we'll continue with our program.
Great. Thanks,
Thanks,
Erin.
everyone.
And now Lori Meyer will announce the Distinguished Community Service Awards.
Hi, everyone. Many of you have already met me, but I'm Lori, and I am the incoming CAC chair. And so it's my pleasure and honor to introduce and announce the recipients of this year's Distinguished Community Service Awards. Now, these awards are the highest level of award that an STC member can receive for service to a specific community. So we want to notice that we want you to know that there are 3 types of awards: the Distinguished Chapter Service Award, Distinguished SIG Service Award, and the Distinguished Service Award for Students. And these awards celebrate each recipient's exemplary effort, energy, and dedication to their community and its activities. And all of this information is not only on these slides, but it is recorded and preserved on the STC website. So everyone will always be able to refer to it, and the contributions of these recipients will never be forgotten. So let's start with the Distinguished Service Award for Students, DSAS. Now for each slide that you see here, we're going to show the recipient's name, the community they come from, and at the end there is a fun fact that you can take a peek at. There's some really interesting stuff there, so feel free to read and enjoy as we go along. So our first DSAS award goes to John Clement from STC Florida chapter. John's citation reads, "For your enthusiastic and inspiring engagement of fellow technical communications students, exemplary leadership, willingness to teach colleagues of all ages, and support of technical communication as a valuable and promising career choice." Congratulations, John. Our next DSAS award recipient is Anita Matichuk, and her citation reads, "For displaying enthusiasm, initiative, and commitment in all of your contributions to the Instructional Design and Learning SIG COP as a volunteer and an emerging leader." Heartiest congratulations, Anita. And finally, Tika Thapa from the Toronto chapter. Tika's citation reads, in recognition of your exemplary efforts to single-handedly create a digital database of historical content of the Toronto chapter and of your continuing contributions to other chapter activities. Congratulations, Tika. And now let's look at our Distinguished Chapter Service Award recipients. And they are Nick Ducharme from the Florida chapter. Nick's citation reads, for your abiding service, technical skills, and proactive leadership that strengthened our member engagement and provided valuable support to the chapter leadership team. Congratulations, Nick. Our next Distinguished Chapter Service Award recipient is Peggy Frizzo from the Michigan Great Lakes chapter. Peggy's citation reads, for outstanding leadership in multiple roles in the regional chapters before, during, and after the merge into the Michigan Great Lakes chapter, for inspiration, enthusiasm, wisdom, and dedication to the community. Congratulations, Peggy. Our next recipient is Joyce Lamb from the Toronto chapter. Joyce's citation reads, in recognition of your stellar efforts to revitalize the STC Toronto chapter, for outstanding service as president and vice president, and for your continued contributions to chapter activities. Congratulations, Joyce. And next is Rachel Lamb from the San Francisco Bay chapter. Rachel's citation reads, for extensive contributions to the San Francisco Bay chapter as program manager, assisting with our chapter website conversions, helping the chapter pivot to a greater virtual presence, and brightening our meetings with optimism and good cheer. Congratulations, Rachel. Our next recipient is Agnes Menz Krenstill from the North Texas Lone Star chapter. Agnes's citation reads, for serving the North Texas Lone Star chapter in various leadership and committee positions with acts of service to evolve and grow the chapter through mentoring, membership campaigns, continuous improvement, and general advisory and counsel. We sincerely thank you for your devotion to our chapter. For serving the North Texas Lone Star chapter, whoops, it looks like that was on there twice. Okay. Congratulations, Agnes. Next up is Richard Poydock from the Rochester chapter. Richard's citation reads, for your sustained contributions as a champion of the Rochester chapter, including your service as treasurer. Your experience, knowledge, and continual support are very much appreciated. Richard served as the chapter treasurer for 4 years, so that was a huge contribution. Congratulations, Richard. Our next recipient is Kelly Smith from the Michigan Great Lakes chapter. Kelly's citation reads, for your sustained contributions to the Southeastern Michigan and Michigan Great Lakes chapters through your exceptional service as membership and social media manager. Congratulations, Kelly. Aaron Wiedemeyer from the Silicon Valley chapter, now part of San Francisco Bay. Aaron's citation reads, in recognition of your efforts to provide value to the members of the Silicon Valley chapter and of your creativity, dedication, and drive in our chapters last year. Congratulations, Aaron. And last but definitely not least is the Distinguished SIG Service Award, DSSA recipient. And this recipient is Marcia Shannon from the Instructional Design and Learning SIG. Marcia's citation reads, for your dedicated service to the instructional design and learning community in a variety of volunteer and leadership roles, and for inspiring confidence in new volunteers through supportive outreach and mentoring. Thank you and congratulations, Marcia. We would now like to honor and recognize the committee that made all of this possible. Their hard work enabled us to decide on recipients and make sure that they were appropriately recognized. This year's chair was Danielle Villegas. Members, Karen Levine, Allison Phillips, Kim Rosenloff. Board liaison was Tim Esposito, and the staff liaison was Erin Galilee. Thank you so much for your work and service to make this awards program possible. So all of you who are recipients, please feel free to turn your video on so that we can shine a light on you.
And the Service Award Committee may also turn on their video if you would like to give a little congratulations to everyone.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations to all of you, and we'll continue with the program.
So now we will turn it back to Anne Marie for our transition to our CAC breakout sessions.
Okay, thank you, Lori. And again, thank you to everyone again for the Pacesetters, CAA, and the Service Awards. I think it shows all your dedication and commitment, and we salute you, and also the committees that help make these awards possible. Thank you. So now, backed by popular demand, and it truly is, this is one of the popular parts of our program, we're going to have the breakout sessions. Now, each session will have a facilitator who will monitor the chat for the presenters and assist the presenters in any way they can. The sessions will last 25 minutes, and we did send out the descriptions with the link and with some other media, but I'll just quickly review. We have a session with Back to the Future with Marilee Souter. She's IDL SIG manager, and she's going to share her experiences over the years as an experienced STC leader. We have another session, session 2, applying for student-related STC honors with Kylie Jacobson and John Clement. Kylie, in addition to being the CAC chair, was also the scholarship committee chair, and John has been the recipient of several STC student awards. So I'm sure they have a lot of good information to share with you. Session 3 will be with Anita Matichuk, and she's going to be talking about recruiting volunteers, another important topic. Session 4 will be with Carolyn Klinger, and it's re-rule. Get involved in all with an STC competition. And she'll talk about the Alliance competition and the 3 other independent STC community competitions. And lastly, in the main room will be Lori Meyer, and she'll be covering your CAC. Let us be there for you. So here's how it works. I know we've all been doing our breakout sessions, so I will keep this brief. In this breakout session, you will click the pop-up invitation or the breakout room icon, and then you can click join for the session you want to attend. If for some reason the icon or the invitation does not come up, please post in the chat to everyone so we'll see it, the session that you want to attend, and Erin will manually add you. The sessions will be 25 minutes, and there will be a 10-minute time alert when there's 10 minutes remaining. And there will be a second and last alert for you to wrap up the topic. And if you don't, and by the way, if you are in a session, you want to change a session, you can during the breakout sessions. You just click on the icon or the invitation. And if you don't select a session, or breakout room, you will stay in the main Zoom room where Lori will be discussing how the CAC can help you. So I think it's time to begin the breakout sessions.
Okay, Lori, and I'm going, as people are piling in the room, I'm going to go ahead
Okay.
and stop sharing so you can share your slides if you would like.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm just going to close the breakout room.
I'm
Now,
going to pause the
I
recording.
don't actually, okay. I don't actually have any slides, so I'm just going to kind of go through some major points.